Hey, good evening, guys. Today is the 9th of January, 2025. I finally got to go to the range after installing my Hamry Forge grips. These are the AFR undercover grips. I did have the Spiegel boot grips before. The differences are this is a little bit pushed out further, and it's got a fully enclosed back strap, which does, and just to show you, it is empty. Hasn't been cleaned yet. I just got back from the range and dinner. But what it allows for is it pushes your palm back a little bit, and you get a little more distance for your trigger finger to react with it. And that was the main draw for me. Plus, with how tall it is, I do feel like I can get a little bit higher grip on there. Another change he made, it was he knocked this angle up a little bit. I may do that some more. But I just wanted to give a quick range report. Stuff I shot. Range ammo, I shot this Magtech 38. It's non plus P. Was pretty snappy, but not too bad. Obviously, it's just regular 38. But out of a snub nose, it's gonna pop you in the hand. And I was having a little bit more, pressure right here every time it recoiled back this little edge. But it wasn't as bad as the first Spiegel grips, which I do love. And what I also noticed is that every time I presented this, because of the way he has it shaped and kind of contoured, you're able to present on target a lot easier, and follow-up shots just kind of fell right there back to it. I did notice it felt like, at least, because it's been a while since I've been able to shoot this guy out in the range. It's the first time I shot with the new AFR grips here. But that was the biggest surprise, was how easy it was to kind of get back on target. The trigger reach was a lot better as well. I felt like I was able to articulate this a little bit easier. It's hard to describe, but it just feels better because I'm not having to crunch my finger down like this because of the shorter distance between my finger and the back strap. Since it's a little longer, my finger can kind of ride a little bit more naturally, and it did pretty well. But as soon as I switched over from the Magtech to my carry rounds, which are the Georgia Arms Ultimate Defense, these are kind of like, I wouldn't say powder puff loads, but they're loaded a lot softer, but they still run like 750 feet per second, I believe. But these are wad cutters. They shoot very softly compared to the regular 38s and the plus P. And I also shot a couple of these, which are I'm so glad Spear re-released these. These are the gold dots for the short barrels. These are the 135 grain ones. These did pop, but these are going to go into my reloads, and they may go into my carry. But for initial carry, I am going to keep these guys. When I tested it, they did shoot pretty well to point of aim, point of impact. I shot it at about 10 yards and 7. 10 was a little spread out, but for my level of shooting at 7 yards, I was pretty happy with the grouping, and they were shooting pretty close to center. But I gotta say, the Spiegel boot grips were nice. They were a big upgrade, at least for me, versus the stock grips. Even though they weren't rubberized, you're gonna feel that impact. But with the larger back strap, the way it presents itself, the better trigger reach, and I don't know, it just felt like it soaked up more recoil more. Like some of these plus P rounds felt a lot less punishing on these undercovers versus the first ones. And you gotta admit, these aren't like rubberized like the original ones are, but it does allow you to get a really firm grip. My hands did not slip whatsoever on there because of the texture. And like I said, I was able to achieve a lot higher grip for on these AFR undercovers than previous ones. I wasn't sure how I would like it, but I mean, initially when I first put these on, I did like the feel of it, but obviously that may or may not translate over to the range. So I'm glad I finally got it over to the range to kind of shoot these. And another big change was, it seems like the angle of how the hook sits. So before, they were a little canted where it would sit like this, so you'd have to kind of cant your arm when you're diving into your waistband if you carried it that way. But now with it a little bit more neutral, I'm able to have a more consistent grip like that with whatever I'm hanging on to. So I am definitely pretty happy with these. I wasn't sure if it'd be worth the money just to switch from one Hamry grips to the other, but I am definitely liking the upgrade here. And he's made a lot of changes as far as materials, manufacturing process, and he's just continually growing. So I'm super excited to support Ryan over at Hamre Forge, and just the development that he's gone through. That I know he and some of the other guys that have had their input and testing, they seem like they put a lot of work into this, and it shows. So if you guys are looking for a nice, concealable, shootable, fighting grip for your snub nose, especially a J-frame, these are awesome, guys. That's just my initial review and my first range strip kind of, report. Let me know if you guys have any questions for me or something I may not have covered. But yeah, I definitely like these guys a lot better. And just curious if you guys want to comment, what's your carry load if you guys carry a snub? Like I said, I normally carry these in the cylinders, and then I'm going to have like regular or plus P hollow points usually in my reloads, depending on if it's my speed loaders or my speed strips. Alright, you guys be safe.